Hello, Zazas here. I'm just bringing you a quick parry guide. In this, I'm going to be covering the Deflect Projectiles trait and what it does, as well as how it differs from normal weapons. Give some examples of parries, both with and without the trait, using the Fury's Edge and Volcanic Plasma Bow, mostly because the Volcanic Plasma Bow has a really bad damage type, so it's but a really good attack profile, so it's really good for practical uses for destroying things that attacks make. And there are currently 5 range traps and 3 range guards that will be covered. As for Too Long Didn't Watch, the guards and traps that use bolts or plasma blasts are projectiles, and thus benefit from the Deflect Projectiles trait. The grappling claw and the bombs from the trap and from the cannon back are not projectiles, so they don't get additional benefits from the Deflect Projectiles trait, but can be destroyed. And fire from the incinerator is neither a projectile nor can be destroyed. First thing to cover is what is Deflect Projectiles. It's a trait that's only available on the Fury's Edge melee weapon. It creates an area that's slightly in front of the player, that is also slightly wider and taller than the player, that is able to destroy projectiles and lingers for a small amount of time. It's probably not even 0.1 seconds. It's quite a small window. But it also plays a special sound when it's successful, but it only works on things that are designated as projectiles. The Bolt Shot Trap is a trap that uses projectiles. They are bolts, they are destructible. There are no mods that prevent a successful deflect, though Relentless does make the timing quite different and somewhat difficult. Relentless also makes non-deflect parries a bit easier because they're individual bolts that can be shot down. It's also probably the easiest trap to utilize Deflect Projectiles area to counter multiple traps. We'll just quickly watch some clips of this. Something to note on that last one, you have to be moving forward because the area doesn't actually wrap around your back. But if you're moving forward, you'll move into it while it lingers. Plasma Sentinels are up next. They use projectiles, their plasma blasts are destructible, and the Plasma Cloud mod, which is the most likely to adjust this, doesn't spawn its cloud if it's destroyed or deflected, which is quite useful. Iron Claws, on the other hand, they don't actually use projectiles, but the claw is destructible. That's why you don't hear any sound when you hit them with the Fury's Edge, and it also means that the window is a lot harder to hit because you can't hit them from quite as much distance. They can be hit after latching, so it's typically easier, often safer, to just hit them after they latch onto you. It also means that the Sledge Blade and the Plasma Bow and the Volt Lancer all have an easier time shooting them out of the sky than actually trying to hit them with the Fury's Edge, which has a small hitbox. Bomb traps similarly are not projectiles, but they are destructible, so no sound when you hit them, and smaller hitbox with the Fury's Edge, but you can hit them. This does mean that destroying more than one is quite difficult, which limits the usefulness of this actual information. Incinerators are a special case. They have no projectiles and their flame jets aren't destructible. Not really anything you can do with weapons besides destroy the trap itself. Now onto the guards. At this point everything's pretty self-explanatory, so we'll go through these pretty quickly. Enforcers fire a bolt. It is a projectile. It is destructible as well. Hornets are in a similar spot. They fire a projectile, and it is destructible with other means. The final ranged defense is the cannonback, which does fire things that are destructible, but they are not projectiles, similar to the bomb trap. Now that we've established what is a projectile and what isn't, I figured I'd just put a quick overview up on the screen so you can actually see that and refer to it a bit easier. But yeah, almost everything is destructible except for fire, and only a few things are projectiles, which give you a much easier time to parry them with Fury's Edge. But that is it for the parry guide. I hope you enjoyed, I hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.